Now on CoastTV News.
Milford marijuana plans, the public getting their say as the city debates regulations for retail sales.
Short-term rental tax. Sussex County is eyeing a 3% charge. We look at what the money would be used for.
Austin drought, a 1-2 punch that's hitting Delmarva farmers hard.
Georgetown draws the line. New street safety rules passed tonight.
And we have no rain relief in sight as we rapidly approach the record of days without measurable rain in our neck of the woods.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
The Milford cannabis conversation, where it can be sold, when it can be sold, but mostly what the public has to say. Good evening, I'm Charlie Sakaitis.
I'm Christina DeRobertis. Welcome to CoastTV News at 11. We begin tonight in Milford at the City Council meeting,
where a public comment session was held Monday to discuss the sale and the use of recreational marijuana. And as CoastTV News reporter Brendan Conroy shows us, people used that session to give all sorts of opinions on the topic.
Marijuana use is legal in Delaware, but the sale of recreational marijuana is a city-by-city, town-by-town issue.
This is a huge decision.
Milford is ultimately giving the green light, but they still have to determine the rules regulating those sales.
I don't know that there's any do-overs if we make the wrong decision.
Monday, the city council got to hear from the community. Trish Marvel lives in Milford and thinks the city needs to be cautious.
I think that this is a huge decision for our city council, and I think that it seems like this is kind of like on a fast track.
Kevin Block, on the other hand, works in Milford and doesn't see any problem with it as long as it's handled well.
I think if it's a permit system of some sort, I think that'd be a good idea, and might be a little bit of a boon for the economy in downtown, and that's basically what needs to be done.
The town council says they will take all comments into consideration, and Mayor Todd Culata says they are taking the right steps to try and make everyone happy.
We want to use these opportunities to give the public a chance to come out and be heard. And we did that.
So far, most coastal towns and cities have said no to any recreational pot sales. But Milford is bucking the trend and lighting their own way. While today was just a public comment session and nothing was voted on, there will be more public comments and workshop sessions down the road. But from the crowd today and those who spoke, it seems like there are some mixed opinions on whether or not to allow recreational marijuana in Milford. In Milford, Brendan Conroy, CoastTV News.
Happening next in Sussex County, a new tax is under consideration. If approved, it would target short-term rentals. At the council meeting tomorrow, the council will look at an ordinance that would add a 3% tax on short-term rentals that are unincorporated areas of Sussex. That is to say, anywhere outside of cities or town limits. Under current state definition, a short-term rental is anything less than 31 nights. Sussex County already has a 3% lodging tax on hotels, and according to the county finance director, that tax has generated $3.4 million since its inception back in 2020. And no surprise here, a new tax isn't exactly a popular idea.
We're fearful that it is only going to add on to a burden that the state has already added of 4.5%. So it makes it more difficult for people to vacation in our area.
The money generated by the hotel tax has been used by the county to pay for things like dredging projects, and any more money generated from this new proposal would reportedly go towards similar projects. But again, that discussion is still scheduled for tomorrow.
Well, farmers who were already struggling with the ongoing drought now have an added obstacle: a frost and temperatures getting colder. CoastTV News reporter Emma Aiken shows us what this combination means for farmers.
This irrigation system is what farmers are relying on to keep their crops alive. That's because it's now been 31 days without rain on Delmarva. Peach farmer Henry Bennett says this isn't normal.
Typically this time of year we're not having to irrigate because it's rainier than the summer, but this has been abnormally dry, so we're still running irrigation every day.
The increased irrigation usage is upping costs for Bennett and other farmers.
Our strawberry field, which is right behind me, I'm normally doing 2 hours a day. Right now, I'm doing about 6 to 8 hours a day just to keep the plants wet. That's increasing our costs, increasing our fertilizer, and also increasing just the overall stress that these plants are facing.
And now the frost is an added obstacle.
It's kind of like dew in the morning, so you get a little bit of moisture, a little bit of wet, but with strawberries specifically, we have to start putting our frost covers over a little bit earlier than we were expecting. Normally, we want to do that around Thanksgiving.
As the dryness continues, the mortality rate grows for strawberries, peaches, and other produce.
As you can see, the drought is significantly affecting the grass here at Parsons Farm. This used to be lush green grass. It is now barren, which is significantly increasing their water usage and their need for supplemental feed. In Sussex County, I'm Emma Aiken, Coast TV News.
We're going to take a live look now outside into Ocean City and turn it over to our First Alert Chief Meteorologist, Paul Williams, for a look at the weather. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, Christina. And, overall, once again, a beautiful skyline, wonderful weather in that sense, but really we pale in comparison as to the significance of not having that rain, measurable rain, for, over 30 days. Now it's 31 days and still counting, tomorrow included. Our Salisbury camera, right now, we're actually seeing the temperatures plummet again for us throughout the inland areas. For example, in Salisbury, 39 degrees actually. We continue to stay mainly with mostly clear skies. We dipped down to 30 degrees this morning. That's why the frost was on top of the problem with the lack of moisture. And the irrigation with the temperatures dropping like this make it even more of an unsettling situation. 30 for the low in Salisbury, 32 in Ocean City. And of course, our drought situation is still staying very severe, not only in Sussex, but now overtaking most of Kent County, leaning into Newcastle. Now, coming up, we're going to be talking about how long it's going to take before you see any kind of water, before you start planting any seeds.
Thank you, Paul. Planting the seeds of today for the forest of tomorrow, the Delaware Forest Service looking towards the future, and they are willing to pay to foster that growth. $900 to $10,000 in grants are available to local communities across Delaware. The 4 grants seek to create a sustainable urban forest canopy throughout the state. Chosen communities will work closely with the state on professionally guided tree management and planning projects. Those grants launch in just a few days on November 1st. Online applications, those will be accepted from 4:30 p.m. or through 4:30 p.m. on January 31st.
Tonight, Georgetown's town council gave the green light to some new pedestrian safety rules. The ordinance now makes it illegal to walk in the street when a sidewalk is available. And if there's no sidewalk, pedestrians must walk facing oncoming traffic. It also bans people from approaching cars, waiting at stop signs or idling, and hanging out on medians or curbs for too long. Georgetown's police chief says there will be a grace period before enforcement begins.
If this ordinance gets approved, we'll have some flyers that are printed out, and we will make contact with the people that are in violation and just make them aware of the new ordinance, talk about pedestrian safety with them, and then let them know that in the future they could be arrested for the same conduct.
And town officials emphasized this new rule is about preventing crashes and making the roads safer, but it could also change how panhandling is dealt with in Georgetown. Now to Ocean City. The Ocean City beaches are one of the main reasons people vacation here during the summer season. But if U.S. Wind's plans go through, 114 wind turbines will be about 11 miles off the coast, something the town of Ocean City is suing to stop. Fenwick Island commissioners of Worcester County and local businesses in town have all signed on as co-plaintiffs for the lawsuit against U.S. Wind. But not everyone is against the new energy.
I think it's better for the environment, and I think it's better for the economy. I can imagine people would be a little bit put off about the aesthetics, but I think the overall benefit would outweigh the negative.
Ocean City Mayor Rick Meehan says the town is paying in full for the lawsuit and says they're waiting for a court date.
And this brings us right to our Coast TV poll. We want to know, do you support offshore wind on Delmarva?
Let's take a look at the results. So far, 55% say they are completely opposed to offshore wind, but 41% saying they strongly support it, and a few people in the middle there.
And you know what? Those numbers have changed a few different times today. That's the most we've seen from the strongly support set. But they could change again. You can go vote at CoastTV.com or use the Coast TV mobile app.
Polls show the presidential candidates remain locked in a tight race as the presidential election cycle enters its last full week. Americans are turning out to vote early, including President Joe Biden today. As Sherelle Hubbard reports, the candidates are making last-ditch appeals to voters, and all this as some apparently try to impede the voting process.
With just 8 days until Election Day 2024, the race is starting to reach a fever pitch. 2 ballot boxes in the Pacific Northwest were set ablaze early Monday morning, one at a bus station in Vancouver, Washington, and just 15 miles away in Portland, Oregon.
Our officers quickly determined that there was an incendiary device that had been attached to the ballot box, and that is what ignited this fire.
And the candidates are setting the campaign trails ablaze in their own ways. Kamala Harris with star power.
I'm not here as a celebrity. I'm not here as a politician. I'm here as a mother.
And former President Trump appearing with his wife, Melania.
This town has produced America's most fearless leaders.
The former president hosted a massive event at New York's Madison Square Garden Sunday night. But it was a comment from his invited guest, comedian Tony Hinchcliffe, that has gotten backlash from the Latino voters that Trump has been trying to appeal to.
There's literally a floating island of garbage. I think it's called Puerto Rico.
Trump also had some sharp language, speaking on illegal immigration.
And we will put these vicious and bloodthirsty criminals in jail. We're going to kick them the hell out of our country as fast as possible.
President Joe Biden, likely the most prominent among America's early voters, fulfilling his civic duty in Newcastle, Delaware Monday. He took out time to comment on his former opponent's rhetoric.
It's simply embarrassing.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
Polls show that Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump are in a neck-and-neck race, both making battleground states a priority in this final week. Election Day is Tuesday, November 5th.
But if you can't wait that long, early voting is underway in both Delaware and Maryland. And today, Maryland Governor Wes Moore took advantage of that and made his way to the polls to cast his ballot for this year's election. Early voting in Maryland continues until October 31st. In Delaware, it runs a little longer through November 3rd. We are just getting going this evening.
Still to come, cold, hard cash. That's what you'll get if your flight is canceled or delays last too long. The new rule that's now in effect.
And right after the break, we will take a look into the Delaware governor's race with a focus on Sussex County.
And right now we take a look at the Bay forecast. And after a very cold start this morning, we're going to see temperatures swinging way above the norm, up to 80 by Thursday on Cambridge and up to 73 in Crisfield. And then it's going to take another nosedive. Your full forecast in 60 seconds.
Looking for a beautiful area rug that'll make your room come to life? Visit the Rug World at Johnny Janosic. Our rug experts and professional design team will help you find the perfect rug for your home. Choose from our exclusive selection of fine handmade area rugs from around the world in any size and any style at prices you can afford. Transform your room with the right rug from the Rug World at Johnny Janosic World of Furniture and Mattresses in Laurel, Dover, Wilmington, and Christiana.
We're bringing bright hope to Delaware by creating opportunity. As Secretary of Labor, I focused on preparing the workforce of tomorrow. And in Congress, I've worked to strengthen career and technical education. Jobs that might not require a four-year college degree, but do require skills. With jobs like these. Together, we can build the workforce of today and tomorrow. I'm Lisa Blunt Rochester, and I approve this message because our opportunities should be limitless.
The lack of rain that we've been dealing with, that pattern of drought will continue right on into Halloween and could go even beyond that, close to actually Election Day, which would set a new record as to just how dry we have been as of late. Our tidal health camera in Salisbury, we're at 39 degrees right now, and temperatures are going to stay in the upper 30s to low 40s for the rest of the night. But here's where we started this mess of today. Crazy temperatures just the beginning today. 30 for the low in Georgetown and Salisbury. We had freezing for the starting point in Cambridge as well as Ocean City, and 34 the starting point in Wallops Island as well as Easton. So it was cold all over the place. Now we have the stationary boundary well to our north, high pressure system that's settling in underneath it. And so we're looking for another pattern of just dry weather and looking at little to no change as far as the upper atmosphere is concerned. We are currently sitting in the low 40s throughout most of our inland areas, with the exception of Del Mar and Salisbury, where we're already clocking the 30s yet again. And this time around, we don't necessarily have the luxury of having a frost or a freeze warning or watch or advisory in effect. What has been in effect, our abnormally dry to moderate to severe drought situation throughout the entire Delmarva Peninsula. Wherever you see yellow, we're looking at moderate drought. Where you're seeing the darker color, that's where we have the severe drought, which you see covers nearly all of Sussex and now covering just about all of Kent County as well. So they've joined in on the fray with this 31-day waiting period for precipitation, and tomorrow's going to be yet another day tacked on to this. The record is 34, and I feel very confident knowing we're going to surpass that by a long shot. Take a look at the next 5 days. For example, we've had this little 22% chance of rain. I have literally run that model 3 times again tonight. Three times. It went from 22 to 21, back to 22, and that's not enough to get happy. So we're going to stay dry, actually. And for the month, we've had over 3.5 inches shy of where we should be. So tomorrow morning, we're going to wake up to it feeling like the 30s again. So it's going to be another cold start to the day. But then something interesting happens with the temperatures. And then we start pendulating back up, like well above the norm for this time of the year. 68, that's just then. And then we're going to go all the way up to like 76 to, actually, believe it or not, our 80s. I mean, look at this. We're looking at 80 by the time we get to Halloween, and that's actually in the top 3 highest temperatures we've ever had on Halloween. And we're looking at a warm trend to continue to stick around for us. So in conclusion, as we get ready to round up this forecast, we're looking at a frosty feeling for tonight, 71 for tomorrow, 78 feeling like summertime on Wednesday. And finally, here's a look at your Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling extended forecast, and we take a nosedive again by the weekend.
Delaware will have a new governor after this upcoming election. Both Democrat Mac Meyer and Republican Michael Ramone vying for the job. I sat down with both men in one-on-one interviews. Here's what they had to say about our neck of the woods. Let's head down towards Sussex County. We're just talking about roads being flooded. We're a growth area. There's been a lot of development down there. It seems like the infrastructure of the roads hasn't necessarily kept up with the number of homes being built, the number of people moving to the area. How, from a governmental standpoint, do you address some of those problems?
Sussex County is being left out and left behind of equal funding from Dover and equal attention, quite frankly. The growth challenges, particularly in the coastal areas, but actually through much of Sussex and even some of Kent County, are among the hardest problems of growth in our country right now. It takes leadership to say no, to say we're going to grow, and we're going to grow intelligently, smart growth. We're going to make sure that we preserve and grow open spaces. Our policy and our plans include expanding the number of open space acreage in our state by over 5,000 acres in my time as governor. To do that takes planning. To do that while there's a crisis of affordable and workforce housing. We're going to make sure that we plan appropriately and signal to the community this is where housing needs to go. And we're going to make sure the roads, the sewers, the water, the infrastructure is in place, and maybe some doctors as well.
How do you help the people of Sussex County specifically? What is your pitch to them?
To me, it's simple. Often you feel left out because you were, right? If you were last guy picked on the game, but you got in the game, but you were still last guy picked, you feel a little left out. But the reality is simple. You have to go to Sussex and listen to the issues and come up with the solutions. A simple one, overdevelopment. When you have hundreds of millions of dollars coming into your campaign, even though maybe you said you're not going to take money from builders, I don't know that I'd be able to trust that person if I'm worried about overdevelopment in Sussex. If you have a county executive who, with his goods and his bads, worked in Newcastle County and now is trying to somehow tell Kent County why he's going to be good for them, that's a tough sell. But when you got a guy who's run businesses in the entire state and then's been a rep representing 41 districts and now is in leadership, remember, I'm one of 2 Republicans north of the ditch. We're an endangered species up here. In the South, all my colleagues that chose for me to be the leader are Southern representatives. Why? Because they saw something in me they believed would help our House be stronger and better. And I quite frankly think we were stronger and better. And I can't wait to be able to help the entire state. I'm not here about red, I'm not here about blue. You see everything I have. It's always yellow, right? Yellow's my thing. I'm not even purple. Yellow's Delaware. Ask me a question, let's figure out what's best for Delaware, and that's what we vote on.
We have more from these candidate issues online, including answers on school voucher programs. You can find those clips on CoastTV.com. Still to come, illegal lottery scheme. That's what a district attorney in Philadelphia says Elon Musk is running with his $1 million giveaway.
And fixing the McFlurry machine. A new lawsuit is going to really increase the likelihood that you can get a cold, sweet treat on your next McDonald's trip.
Prince George's County politician Angela Alsobrooks may live near D.C., but she'd bring tons of baggage. Nearly 2 decades of illegal tax breaks, $59,000 in back taxes, and thousands in unpaid bills. A sweetheart tax deal, typical politician. Slumlord Alsobrooks? Records show she was caught operating an illegal rental property. With so much baggage, how can we trust Alsobrooks to represent us? Maryland's Future is responsible for the content of this advertising.
In 1925, a simple bank ledger began journaling the transactions of life in Willards, Maryland. New houses, barns, and farm equipment. Growing families and businesses both big and small. A record through time of hardship and prosperity. 100 years ago, the founding of the Farmers Bank of Willards was vital to the town. 100 years later, banking has changed, but the Farmers Bank remains steadfast in its original mission, keeping and reinvesting millions of dollars right here for the benefit of our communities.
My dad, Mike Ramone, is a different kind of public servant. I know what you're thinking. Yeah, right. But I know from my own experience how much he cares about everyone. He's a great father and grandfather. You can see how much their futures matter to him. And he has the same passion for your kids' future. He's focused on fixing our schools and getting teachers and students the resources they need. What I can promise is he'll be a great governor for all of Delaware.
Your Ford dealer presents America's all-time best-selling SUV, Ford Explorer. The intelligent Ford Expedition. The fun, fuel-efficient Ford Escape. Want more? Visit your local Ford dealer. Now get an Escape with 2.9 plus $1,250 bonus cash, or get Expedition with 2.9 or $5,000 cash back.
This is Coast TV News at 11.
It's been a rough few weeks for McDonald's, but this news may help turn things around a little. They may have solved their broken McFlurry machine issue. It's come down to a court ruling. McDonald's says its restaurants were not able to fix their soft-serve ice cream machines because the company that manufactured the machines owned the copyright and exclusive rights to repair them. Until now. Starting Monday, a copyright exemption will go into effect, giving restaurants the right to repair the machines. The exemption bypasses digital locks that had prevented the machines from being fixed.
So that's what was going on there. Philadelphia's district attorney is suing Elon Musk over his $1 million voter sweepstakes. The suit was filed today, calling the sweepstakes a, quote, illegal lottery scheme, unquote. That violates state lottery and consumer protection laws. The DA says Pennsylvania law requires that all lotteries be conducted by the state and that Musk's sweepstakes doesn't meet those guidelines. Musk and his pro-Trump America PAC are offering a daily $1 million giveaway to registered voters in swing states who sign a petition supporting the First and Second Amendment. The Justice Department last week warned Musk that the giveaway may violate federal election laws. Now, despite that warning, the sweepstakes has continued. Coming up in sports, find out if Cape Henlopen girls volleyball could make history and earn their first conference championship.
And we take a look at your golf forecast. Listen, it's going to be another clear day. No problem with rain. Extremely fast greens. And a high of 71 degrees with warmer conditions in the afternoon.
Listen to Coast Country 103.9 and 106.3. We're Delmarva proud.
Shop Johnny Janasik's Veterans Day mattress sale and find incredible store-wide savings. Plus, get a free adjustable base with your mattress purchase of $19.99 or more through Veterans Day Monday at Johnny Janasik's Mattress World.
This is my legacy. A legacy is earned, built on years of trust and reliability. To build the best vehicles with the best value. Right now, get a Tundra with low 3.99% APR.
This is my legacy.
Toyota, let's go places.
In Washington, they talk, but in Delaware, Sarah delivers.
Sarah McBride helped raise the minimum wage.
She got paid leave for workers.
She got Democrats and Republicans to work together.
We're all in for Sarah.
Carpenters, bus drivers,
nurses,
sheet metal workers.
Sarah sees us.
And she respects us.
I'm Sarah McBride. I approve this message because anyone who works hard should be able to make ends meet. That's why I'm running for Congress.
Farmers are superheroes, true conservationists. We are using soil health practices to help fight climate change. Soil health farmers are working today to protect tomorrow, using regenerative agriculture and climate-smart practices like no-till and cover crops to improve soil health. Healthy soils sequester carbon, improve water quality, and produce sustainable, nutrient-rich food. Soil health farmers are working today to keep Delmarva a beautiful place for generations to come.
As a math teacher, Matt Meyer knows that Delaware's tax system isn't adding up. So he has a plan to fix it. Give middle-class families a tax cut, invest in schools, and lower costs. But Mike Ramone's plan gives tax breaks to the ultra-rich, which could cut education by nearly $175 million. Matt Meyer knows these numbers don't add up. He'll make state taxes fair so families can get ahead. Vote Matt Meyer for governor.
Shop Johnny Janasik's Veterans Day mattress sale and find incredible store-wide savings. Plus, get a free adjustable base with your mattress purchase of $19.99 or more through Veterans Day Monday at Johnny Janasik's Mattress World.
In regional news, Maryland State Police have arrested 2 Cambridge teenagers in connection with a deadly shooting on October 20th. 18-year-old Jameer Omar Norman and 15-year-old Brian Jermaine Wongus Jr., both facing charges of first-degree murder. Officers found 26-year-old Virgil Sims on a Cambridge sidewalk with multiple gunshot wounds. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The teens currently being held at the Dorchester County Detention Center without bond.
Here's something that might affect your wallet. U.S. airlines are now required to refund passengers for significantly delayed or canceled flights. The new rule went into effect today. Some airlines previously gave out vouchers to passengers if problems happened, but a new federal rule changed that, and airlines must give passengers cold, hard cash. The rule change comes just weeks before the busy holiday travel season gets underway.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good evening, sports fans. In our game of the night, a Henlopen champion crowned tonight on the volleyball court. Lake Forest and Cape both with a chance at the title.
It was back and forth all night long until the 4th set, when Cape came out on fire, defeating Lake 3-1 for the first time in program history, winning the Henlopen Championship. To a Delaware boys soccer regular season finale, St. Andrews at Caesar Rodney. First half, CR midfielder plays it to Axel Jackson, who dribbles through contact and rips a shot into the net. Riders take the 1-0 lead. About 22 minutes later for CR, Jamal Richards finding Jackson again, and his shot tipped by the St. Andrews keeper and sails into the goal cage. 2-0 Caesar Rodney. Second half, it's Richards breaking through the defense, beating one and placing the perfect shot past the reach of the keeper. Caesar Rodney defeats St. Andrews 3-0. To high school field hockey in Delaware, Milford defeats Sussex Central 6-1 in a regular season finale. Isabel Betts opened the scoring for Milford. Hannah Zimmerman recorded a hat trick, and Molly Matson added another for the Buccaneers. On the other side, the Golden Knights' Morgan West scored their lone goal. And tomorrow on DSN Plus, don't miss a doubleheader in the 2A regional finals. In field hockey, Queen Anne's County taking on Kent Island at 4 p.m., followed by girls soccer, QAC facing KI.
That'll do it for sports. Have a great night.
Up next, health and wellness, where you can get free health screenings and more this weekend.
CoastTV First Alert Weather. Your safety, our commitment.
As a Prince George's County police officer under Angela Also Brooks, here's what you should know. Also Brooks wanted to remove security from our schools and cut police funding. She released violent criminals and drug dealers. Murders have doubled, carjackings are up 500%. She would abolish cash bail, letting more violent criminals go free. Larry Hogan, he has our backs, and that's why Maryland police unanimously endorsed him.
Join our team by donating today.
I'm Larry Hogan, and I approve this message.
As temperatures drop, FH Fur invites you to be part of something truly heartwarming. Our Fall into Comfort Toy Drive. Through December 15th, for only $29, the experts at FH Fur will perform a comprehensive heating system inspection, ensuring your home stays snug through the chilly months ahead. The best part? 100% of the proceeds will go to the United States Marine Corps Reserve's Toys for Tots. Schedule your heating inspection today with FH Fur.
877-CALL-FUR. FHFur.com.
Let's go exploring in the rugged CRV from Honda, KBB.com's 2024 Best Value brand. Get comfy. There's plenty of space for both passengers and cargo. And feel free to take pictures. Hold tight as our 204 horsepower CRV hybrid charges through muddy terrain. The rugged CRV. This is how adventure looks in a Honda.
Seen these attacks? They're not true. The Republican billionaires paying for them know it, and Larry Hogan does too. So why does a group of billionaires from outside Maryland care so much about our Senate race? Because they want power, and they know Larry Hogan will give Republicans control of the Senate. They'll pass trillions in new tax breaks for big corporations and the wealthy. But you know who they don't care about? You. I'm Angela Also Brooks, and I approve this message.
Ride the wave of Delmarva's vibrant coastal vibes with Coast Life. From hidden gems to sun-kissed trends and captivating local tales. Dive deep and immerse yourself in our coastal rhythm. Catch Coast Life weekdays at 4 on CoastTV.
Huddle up for Nittany Game Week.
Get a sideline seat with coaches Jay Paterno and Tom Bradley as they join host Todd Sadowski for expert analysis on the blue and white. Nittany Game Week, Friday nights at 10:30 and Saturday mornings at 11 on DSN.
This Saturday, November 2nd, the annual Delaware Resorts 55 Plus Expo is coming to Lewis. From 9 to 4 at Cape Henlopen High School, there will be free health screenings from BB Healthcare, and the Blood Bank of Delmarva will have a mobile donation unit on site. The event is free, and I know we said it's the 55 Plus Expo, but all ages are welcome.
All right, well, that's probably, I'm not old enough to get to that one. Oh, well, I'm not worried about lightning striking because we haven't had any rain. Okay, anyway, so we take a look at Hershey right now at Ocean City. 59 degrees. We'll drop to 50 with mostly clear skies at 3 o'clock in the morning. Our umbrella giveaway winner, by the way, is Kyle Brochette of Millsboro. Congratulations, Kyle. If you want to keep up with your forecast, simply call our weather line at 443-880-9100. Your forecast is just a call away, sponsored by the law offices of Baird, Mandalis, Brockstead, and Federico. And finally, here's a look at your Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling exclusive 10-day forecast. And it's interesting because we go all the way up to 80 on Halloween, back down to the low 40s over the weekend, and back up to 77 by Tuesday, and we have a chance of rain next Wednesday.
Thank you, Paul, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News at 11.
For some more local news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, it's coming up next.
And we'll see you tomorrow for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Have a great night.